Good day to all. I want to come back on here and share a little more insight. Shed a little more light on my situation when it comes to dreams and why they were so important for me and why they helped me in my situation and why you should pay attention to your dreams as well if they're warning you or alarming you in any situation that you're in, especially when it comes to somebody. Now, before I decided to leave my situation, it was like everything that transpired, I was warned every time. And I mentioned, in the last video, why I paid attention to my dreams because one of them validated something that was in my dreams. So that one instant allowed me to follow through when the dreams came through so vivid, and the perspective was so, real, like it felt actual. But in this case, this one was about a third party that was going to enter my life. A third party. This third party was in my dreams. Not the person per se, but the name was given to me. It's like 6 days I got a letter every time I went to sleep, and I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would be like, what does that mean? And the first letter I got was a K. And then the second night followed, I got an E. The third night followed, I got an N. The fourth night, I got a D. The fifth night, I got an R. And on the sixth night, I got an A. I didn't know what that meant at first, because after the name spelled out, it was just there on the seventh day for me to see. Now, keep in mind that name. Now, when I tell you this third party entered my life, and the first time I ever heard about it, it was from Key coming through the door from work. Now, remember, Key is the person that I'm talking about. And for you people that know me, you know who Key is. So, she came through the door and she was talking to the name. She was having a belly laugh and she was like, "Name, you crazy?" And I heard it. I was like, I was dreaming about that name. And I kept hearing this name, and it was all from her. It got to a point where she was protecting this person. She would overlook me for this person. She would stay out late. Now, mind you, banks close at 5 o'clock. When it came to this person, Key was coming home at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. This is a married woman. And it's funny how when things got livid between us, she would smile and say gracefully or say like, oh, she said you would act like that. She said you would act like that. And just keep throwing her in my face any chance she got. Until one day, I started seeing things I shouldn't have seen. Like they were FaceTiming one time, and I had a room in the basement of my apartment, and I can hear through the floor when someone's conversing. And loudly, she was like, "Oh, I would never do you like that. I wouldn't do you like that. You can confide in me. Like, why did they do you like that? I will always be on your side, no matter what." I'm listening to this like, is she serious? Like, who is she talking to? And then she mentioned the name. Name, I love you more than I love my own sister. I don't love you like a sister. I love you more than my own sister. And then it got to a point where it was just hours and hours of conversation, texting. She's texting her good morning, good night. Hey, what you doing, boo? What you doing, boo? Hey, using jargon that we would use amongst each other like she's trying to be me. It was weird. Like the same little language we developed amongst each other, our own little language, it felt like it was going on between them. Like, it was weird. And she was like telling me these meetings were coming up. Then these meetings started coming up. And then it got to a point where it was too often. And I was questioning her about this. She would have this woman on the phone sometimes, and she'll be like, stick to the plan, stick to the plan. Like, what? Stick to the plan? What plan? And every time it seemed like anything that went on between us, she would always utter that, stick to the plan, stick to the plan. And I got something that's far more crazy than that, She is taking Key on trips to Jamaica. This is a whole married woman. Whole week. And I told my Key, if you go out of town to Jamaica, and I know Jamaica is not a place where you just go. And then, like I said, they will always like stick to the plan. And you want to stick to the plan. You going to Jamaica. I know this is a place of like black magic and voodoo and all of that crap. I'm familiar with these things, but I'm not saying anything. But when she gets back, everything was different. Like her rebellion and her defiance against me was so like potent, like it was like charged to the maximum. No respect for me at all. Just neglected me, the children, disrespected me. Like it was crazy. She almost had me locked up. She ran out in public, made a scene, telling like strangers like he trying to hurt me, and calling her family, and it was a big scene. Like she was like always doing this thing, like trying to humiliate me. And all the time, this third party was in her ear. And I never met this woman. As long as she's been talking about this woman. Never met her. Not once. Which also raised red flags for me. So I'm gonna let y'all sum up that name, stick to the plan, going to Jamaica, coming back, and I'm undergoing all of those dreams that I was having. And out of her own mouth, asking me, do I want to be a Mason? Hell no. Key asked me that. So, for them who act like they don't know how I know, you're the evidence. You told on yourself. And there's more to this story. That's just my third party situation. Next is the humiliation.